Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon to everyone. Good morning. Myself, Professor Swapnil Thorat, and today I will teach you about the science lesson number 7. So, see what is the title of the lesson, that is interdependence of plants and animals. Okay, interdependence means the way, the different ways by which plants and animals are depend on each other for the food and for their life processes. Okay, how plants and animals depending on each other, that is nothing but the interdependence. Okay, now key concepts we have to see. Some key concepts are given. See at the top side. So, plants as producers and animals as a consumer. So, generally, plant is called as producer and animal is called as consumer. Then, second point we have to study, that is the simple food chains. Okay. Then, scavengers and decomposers we have to see. And the last point we have to see, that is nothing but the causes of imbalance in nature, hunting, such as deforestation, forest fire. Okay, now let's start the lesson. Now, first activity is given, that is get set go. What is the question? Name any two ways in which we depend on each of these natural resources. So, three pictures are given. That pictures are nothing but the examples of the natural resources. So, starting from the left hand side, it is nothing but the sun. The sun, that is the universal source of energy. So, how we human beings depend on the sun? First thing, that is for the energy, and second thing, for the formation of the food. Okay, for the formation of food, for the formation of energy, and for the vitamin D. Okay, we are dependent on the sun. Okay, then second, water. So water is the main source. Okay, main source of our body. Okay, so water is necessary for our body for the different life processes such as excretion, digestion. Okay, and some are the industrial and domestical uses are there. Okay, then last picture is of the plant. So how plant is useful for the human beings? So plant gives us food, vegetables, fruits, flowers, leaves. Okay, some roots are useful, and from the roots different medicines we are producing. So all the three natural resources, that is the sun, water and plant, they are very helpful in the human life as well as in the all living organisms. Now let's start the actual point. Starting from left hand side, everybody please see page number 62. We have to see. So things around us make up our environment. So our environment includes elements that can be broadly divided into two groups. First, living and non-living. So living things plus non-living things means our environment. So living things means such as plants, animals and microorganisms. Okay, they are forming the living environment. And second is the non-living. So in non-living, things coming such as air, water, soil, rocks and minerals, sunlight and warmth. So here warmth is nothing but the humidity, water vapor in the air. It is called warmth. So these are the some examples of non-living things. So togetherly living things and non-living things both are forming our beautiful environment. Okay. So living things depend on other living and non-living things in the environment for their survival. So survival for the life, to protect the life, for the survival, every animal, every living thing is depend on other living or non-living things. Okay. So living things require, see right hand side, living things require non-living things such as air, water, soil, sunlight, and warmth. So, what is the use of the air? Living things require the air for the respiration process. Respiration means taking of oxygen inside the body and giving out of CO2 outside the body. Then second, water. So water is useful for the all life processes, okay, such as digestion, excretion. Then soil. So we require the soil for the proper growth of the all the plant, okay, because soil contains number of minerals, and with that minerals there is a proper growth of the all the plants. So soil is also one type of useful natural resource, okay, and soil is the non-living thing, but it is plays important role in the living organisms, okay. Then sunlight. So from the sunlight we get solar energy, and there are the number of uses of the solar energy, okay, just as solar water heater, solar cooker, and also solar energy is very enriched in the vitamin D, okay. And last is the warmth. So warmth means water vapors in the air, so that environment is very useful for the growth of the plants, okay. So all the living things are depending on the other non-living things as well as living things. You can see the pictures of living things such as microorganisms, green plants, and animal, that is the tiger. So tiger is the carnivorous animal, okay. Now see next page, page number 63. Now see one diagram is given, okay. So living things depend on other non-living elements. It is schematically shown with the help of diagram, okay. You can see the picture of water, you can see the picture of sunlight, and you can see the picture of soil, okay. Now see the point, very important point. Living things need air, okay. This point we have to discuss. So all plants and animals breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. So plants uses the carbon dioxide and give out oxygen during the photosynthesis, okay. So photosynthesis, this is the process of the food formation, takes place in all the green plants, okay. And this process is actually happen in the day period, okay. And during the day period what happens, all the plants are taking CO2 inside their body and they are giving out of oxygen outside the body. But in the night period it is exactly opposite, because during the night photosynthesis process is not there, okay. Only respiration process is there of the plant, and in that process exactly reverse is happen, means oxygen is taken inside the body of the plants and CO2 is given outside of the body, okay. That is the explanation. Now see next point, living things need water. What is the role, importance, use of the water in the living things? So plants and animals need water to carry out different processes in their life. So digestion of food is there, transport of nutrients in the body, excretion of waste material from the body cannot take place without water, okay. The roots of the plants can absorb minerals only when the minerals are dissolved in water. Okay, so simultaneously for the all the plants, water is useful. Water is very helpful. For what purpose? Because the roots of the plants are absorbing the minerals from the soil. When if there is a dissolved minerals are there, and when the minerals will be dissolved when there is a water. Okay, so in the life of plant, in the life of animals, water plays very important role. Okay, now see next point. Living things need soil. Okay, so plant need soil to grow. Soil hold plants and trees in their place. Roots of plants absorb minerals and water from the soil. Soil is also home to many animals such as rats, moles, rabbits make burrows in the soil and uses them as homes. So some other living things that live in the soil are earthworms, snails, centipedes, millipedes, and microorganisms such as fungi and bacteria. So in short, soil is the home. It is the house for many microorganisms such as fungi, bacteria, for other living things such as earthworms, snails, centipedes, millipedes. Okay, and in the soil there are the number of nutrients, minerals are there, and that minerals are very helpful for the growth and development of the all the green plants. So soil is very helpful for the proper growth of the plant. Okay, now next see the next point. Living things need sunlight. Okay, so what is that process? This is the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so plants uses the sunlight to prepare the food with the help of water, CO2 and sunlight, and during this process oxygen is given outside of the body. Okay, so in that the chemical energy is converted into the food energy, and that total process is taken inside the green leaves. Okay, so living things need the sunlight. Okay, now see the next page. Interdependence between plants and animals we have to see now. Okay, so plant and animals dependent on each other in many ways. This interdependence is necessary for their survival. Okay, so both plants and animals are dependent for their survival, okay, on each other. Now see how animals dependent on plants. So first is for the food. Okay, so there are the three categories of the animals. Okay, see first category, it is the herbivorous animal such as cow and elephant. They are eating the green leafy plants. Okay, they are the vegetarian. Then second is the carnivorous. Carnivorous means such as lion and crocodile. They are eating the herbivorous animals. Okay, and last is the omnivorous. Omnivorous means such as bear and crow. Their food is herbivorous animals as well as the carnivorous animals. Okay, so they are vegetarian as well as non-vegetarian. Okay, omnivorous animals such as bear and crow. So all the animals are dependent on each other for the food. Okay, but in short, all the animals dependent on the plants for the food, because herbivorous animals get the energy, they get their food from the green plant only. Okay, so if there is no herbivorous animal, then carnivorous animal will not get the food, and finally they will die. And finally omnivorous animals also don't get the food and they will be died. So actual meaning is the green plant is the main source of the food for the birds, for the animals. Okay, and remember the three categories of the animals such as herbivorous, carnivorous and omnivorous. So green plant is called the producer, Green plant is called producer of the food. Okay, and all the animals, it's called as consumer, because they are consuming, they are eating the food. Okay, so omnivores such as humans eat the plants and flesh of certain animals. So thus all animals directly or indirectly depend on green plants for their food. So in other words, they consume the food produced by the plants. Therefore, animals are called as consumers. Okay. Now see next point. Animals dependent on plants for oxygen. So plants give out oxygen during the process of photosynthesis that we have already discussed before. Animals uses this oxygen for breathing, for respiration process. Okay. So in this way animals dependent on plant for the oxygen also. Then animals dependent on trees for the shelter. Shelter means for the home. So some animals such as squirrels, monkeys and birds make their home on trees. Okay. So this is the another use of the plant for the animals. Okay. For the shelter purpose. Now plants dependent on animals for the carbon dioxide, for the CO2. So animals breathe out CO2, and that CO2 is used by the plants to make their food. Okay, during the photosynthesis process. Okay, now see the last point. Plant depend on animals for the pollination and dispersal of the seed. So pollination means it is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of same or different flower. And dispersal of seed means it is the transfer of the seed away from its parent plant. So both the processes are takes place with the help of animals. Okay. So plant having the two main processes for its growth. First is the pollination and then dispersal, and these two processes are depend on the animals, because animals are responsible, okay, for this process. Okay, now see next point, very important, that is the food chain. Okay, food chain means it is the sequence of the transfer of energy from one animal to the next animal. Okay, so how one animal is dependent on other animal for the food, for the energy. Okay, and how it will be survive, that's nothing but the food chain. So the dependence of animals on plants for food directly or indirectly forms the different food chains in nature. Okay, a food chain shows who eats whom in the environment. Okay, and all food chain begins with green plants. Remember this word, all food chains begins with green plants. Green plants means producers. A simple food chain is shown below, that is the wheat, rat and cat. You can see the picture also, wheat, rat and cat. Okay, so a food chain also shows the flow of the energy from one living to another. Okay, so herbivores get their food, they get their energy directly from plants. Carnivores get their energy food from herbivorous animals. So they get their energy indirectly from the plants. Okay, because this is the first member of the food chain, that is the wheat. So wheat is the green plant. It is the first source of the energy, and the energy level is very high because it is the first member. In the second member, the energy level goes down. It is decreasing. That is the rat. So rat and its food is the wheat. Okay. And last is the cat. So cat is the carnivorous animal and she is eating the rat. Okay. So the first member is wheat, that is the green plant producer, and the last member is the cat. Okay, If you increase the food chain, you can see number of food chains. So grass, deer, tiger, grass, grasshopper, frog, snake, paddy, rat, snake, eagle. So first member is the green plant, second member will be herbivorous, third member is the carnivorous, last member is the scavenger. And after that scavenger, there will be some microorganisms in the food chain. Okay, you have to remember all these food chains. Now see another classification of the animals, that is the scavenger and decomposer. So what do you mean by scavenger? So some animals such as hyenas and vultures mainly eat dead bodies of other animals. They are called scavengers. Okay, they are the sweepers of the environment because they are cleaning the environment. Okay, scavengers are cleaning the environment. Next, decomposer. What do you mean by decomposer? Some living things such as bacteria and fungi help in the decay, means breaking of the remains of dead animals and plant waste. They are called decomposers. Okay, so in this process, minerals present in the dead and waste material get mixed in the soil and enrich the soil, and these minerals are absorbed by plants and used for their life processes. So decomposers means microorganisms. It will be fungi, it will be bacteria. Okay. And finally, they are converting every dead body of the animal as well as plant finally into the soil. So soil is the last product. It is the last conversion of the any living thing. Okay. So try to understand the difference between scavenger and decomposer. Now see balance in nature. Very important point. All living and non-living things are important part of nature. Their interdependence maintains a delicate balance in nature. So damaging any part of the nature can disturb this balance and can cause serious harm to living conditions on the earth. So every member in a food chain is essential. If one link in a food chain is removed, it disturbs the balance. Animals that eat only plant help to keep the plant population under control. Suppose, for example, if there are no deer, if there are no herbivorous animal, there will be no food for tigers. Tigers means carnivorous animals. So at the same time, the plant population, the number of plants will increases. On the other hand, if the tiger population decreases, reduces, the deer population will be increases. As a result, the number of plants will reduced. It will be decreases. So every member of the food chain is very essential. It is equally important. If any one member is absent or remains dead, it will cause serious imbalance in nature. So they are responsible to make the balance. Causes of imbalance in nature. So human activity is a major factor in disturbing the balance in nature. As the number of people increases, there is a need for more land. So forests are cleared, they are cut down to get more land. Excessive cutting down of trees and uncontrolled clearing of forest is called deforestation. See the definition of deforestation: excessive cutting down of trees and uncontrolled clearing of the forest. Some other human activities that affect the balance in nature, such as hunting of animals and forest fires. Okay, now see the first reason, that is the deforestation. Okay, see the picture of deforestation. So in the deforestation, number of trees are cutting at the same time, their number will be decreases. Okay, in the deforestation. So deforestation disturbs the balance in nature in many ways. What are the many ways? First, so plant absorb carbon dioxide means CO2 and releases the oxygen during photosynthesis process. Thus, they help in adding the oxygen to the air and reduces the amount of extra carbon dioxide in it. So, this ensures a balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the air. Okay, so cutting down trees and forests for farming, fuel, factories, housing, and roads increases the amount of carbon dioxide in the air. So, this causes an increase in the temperature of the Earth's surface. Deforestation reduces the amount of oxygen in the air, which is affects the life of animals. So, second way of deforestation, plant absorb the water from the soil. So, they release it into the air through their leaves as a water vapor. So this water vapor becomes a part of the water cycle. Water cycle means monsoon. If we cut down trees, the underground water will not find its way back to the water cycle. So thus plants also maintain the balance of water in nature. Okay. In the diagram you can see how the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide is maintained in the environment. So oxygen is given out of from the photosynthesis process by all the green plants and it is consumed by all the living things, okay, except the plant during the day period. And in the night period all the organisms require the oxygen for the breathing, for the respiration process. And carbon dioxide, which is the excretory product of the all the animals, okay, and it is expelling outside the body of the all the animals, and that carbon dioxide is consumed by the green plants during photosynthesis process. So there is a balance of the oxygen as well as CO2 is takes place. Okay, now see one more point about the deforestation. What is the bad effect of the deforestation? What is the effect of the deforestation? So trees prevent the soil erosion. Soil erosion means decrease in the level of the soil, decrease in the layer of the soil. In the absence of trees, there are no roots to hold the soil. So it dries up due to the heat of the sun. So rain washes away this loose soil and wind blows it away, making the land barren. And such land cannot turn into useful land. It is turned into deserts. Okay, deserts and barren land both are the synonyms. Okay, in that land no green plants will be growing. Okay, see the fourth point, forests are home to many animals. Deforestation causes these animals to lose their homes, so they may disturb the food chains in nature. Now see the second cause of imbalance in nature, that is the forest fire. So sometimes we read about the sea forest fires in the news. Most of the times, a forest fire starts because of human activities. Sometimes it happens naturally due to the lightning. A forest fire kills a wide variety of plants and animals and also destroys their habitats. Habitats means the place at which they are living. Okay. Many of the surviving animals die due to the shortage of food. So this is the picture of the forest fire. You can see it. Now see the last cause of the imbalance in nature, that is the hunting. So hunting of plants and animals. Okay. So humans also hunt animals for their meat and body parts. So deer and birds are hunted for their meat. Tigers are hunted for their hide and elephants are hunted for their tusks. Okay, so see the names of the animals and the parts of their body for which they are hunting. Okay, so this has resulted in the endangering many varieties of animals. Endangering means tremendous or large decrease in the number of animals. Okay, that is called endangering animals. So some have even disappeared from the earth. As a result, food chains are disturbed as well as environment will be disturbed, and there is a no balance. There will be the imbalance in the nature. So forest and wildlife are important sources of living and non-living elements in our environment. Okay, so these elements play a huge role in maintaining the balance in our environment. So we should preserve these resources by managing them in an efficient way. So only human beings can make a difference. Okay, so we all the human beings, we are responsible for all these deforestation, forest fire, and hunting. So it is our work, it is our duty that we should protect our environment by avoiding all these things. Okay, students. So I hope all of you understand all the plants, all the chapters, all the lessons neatly. So we have finished lesson number 7, that is the interdependence of plants and animals. Okay, in the next video we will see about lesson number 8. Okay, thank you.